Here is your 2024 Platinum price prediction, the realistic forecast, brought to you by Ainslie Bullion and the Gold and Silver Standard. We've already done a gold and silver one. I'll put links above to those right now and below. And of course, use the time codes to go to your preferred section in this video straight away. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to give you two realistic price targets moving higher and two realistic price targets moving lower that I think will realistically be where we top out or bottom out at for 2024. I'm also going to give you a third unrealistic, but you never know, just keep it in the back of your mind, target on the high side and the low side as well. Of course, you need to know that anything I say here is not financial advice. It's my own personal opinion, not necessarily the opinion of Ainslie Group. And also, we're using the US dollar price as our base. So depending on where you are in the world, of course, you've got your own foreign currency. Do note that your foreign currency floats against the USD because the USD is the world's reserve currency. So just because, for example, if one day that platinum is going up in USD, it could actually be going down in your currency depending on how that's tracking against the US dollar. I hope that makes sense. So do keep that in the back of your mind, that factor that your foreign currency floats against the USD as well. All right, let's go straight to, first, we want to take a look at the 2023 platinum price prediction that we did early last year and just see how did we fare. And here were the price targets for the platinum price prediction in 2023. And self-admittedly, just like the gold one, I was, I think, way too liberal or very under-conservative for my high targets, and particularly my high targets. We do have a rough lower target there that did hit, but the high targets, didn't see anywhere near those. But out of interest, I had my first realistic target around about $1,330, and then I had another one here at $1,520, and the unrealistic, but just keep it in the back of your mind, was at $1,730. I gave that one a 50-50 chance, and this was more than 50%. Definitely got nowhere near there in 2024. But we had the $900 on the lower time frame, the $820, and the $750. So let's check out how we actually tracked at the end of 2023. So we're back to the live chart, and this is the yearly chart. So each candle represents 12 months, and we're using the tradingview.com website. So here is 2023, and the range that we had was, if we look up here, I'll just do it that way, had around about $1,130, roughly $1,120, and we bottomed out at around about $840 US. So that was close to, and I don't have them drawn in anymore, but I'll pop on my indicators. That 820 lower level, which was about roughly here, we did come close to that, around about $20 off, but we did bottom out for the year at that $840 level. But as you can see very clearly, we hit nowhere near. This is a monthly time frame. In the last 12 months, we hit nowhere near even my first target there of $1,330 roughly. So way under conservative for 2023. I'm going to be a bit more conservative this time for 2024, and you never know, it might just go the opposite direction, and you never know, we could just sail to the moon. But here are my realistic price targets moving higher. We'll start with higher, and then we'll do the lower ones. So if you use the time codes to go straight to the higher targets, congratulations, you've moved just to here. Now, what I need to do very quickly is I want to show you the long-term downtrend line, and this is for either new subscribers or people who are finding this video for the first time. Our long-term subscribers have seen this before, but this goes back to 2008 when we hit a top of around about $2,300 US, and since then you can see this long-term downtrend line, and right here in 2021, in 2022, twice in 2023, we have attempted to break out of it, and it has been a failed attempt every single time. You've come up for maybe a couple of months, but it has not held. So right here is, I'm not going to be my first realistic price target, but I just want you to keep this one in the back of your mind. We really need to see this break and hold above and come back and test as support for a decent amount of time, and I'm talking at least a few months. Though I want to see this downtrend line remain as support, most definitely. But that's the sort of longer term view there. You really just need to take that downtrend line into account, in my humble opinion. But what I'm going to be using, and I have been doing this for the gold and the silver videos as well, I am using the Fibonacci levels from this old high of 2300 and the old low of 750. That's during the GFC 2008, and then we went into, it's still 2008, and we bottomed out in the sort of the depths of the global financial crisis at $750. So the Fibonacci from that high and that low, and I've found that over time, I found this to be somewhat predictive for platinum, much more predictive for silver. Again, I'll put a link above to a video about Fibonacci and the silver price right now. I think that's quite predictive for silver, but I have found it somewhat predictive for platinum as well, except for my unrealistic targets last year, but they were still based on the Fibonacci levels. But I'm just going to take it all down a notch, if that makes sense. So here are the first price targets moving higher, again based on this high and this low from the Fibonacci. The first one you can very easily see here at $1,120. Now that happens to be, if you take a look back here, that happens to be where we topped out at for 2023, roughly right there. So on this particular index, it was $1,133. That's very, very close. Okay, so interestingly, that is looks like a key Fibonacci level, at least last year it was. So that's my first realistic price target moving higher for 2024. Definitely going to be a big area of resistance we need to smash through and then come back and hold as support. So first level there, and I'm giving that more than a 50% chance that if we break, and I really have to stress this, if we break out of this long-term downtrend line, that would be the first reasonable price target. For me, more than a 50% chance that if we break out of this downtrend line, we're definitely going to there. I would say more than 50% chance, as I said right there. So that's target number one for 2024. Second realistic price target for 2024 moving higher is, you can see it very, very clearly here at that $1,330 level, give or take, $5 to $10 or so. You can see it was a peak here in February of 2021. And again, bear in mind, this is based on the Fibonacci from 2008, roughly. Okay, so it's taken all this time. You can see very here, clear levels of support, resistance here. We came down with level of resistance right here. Of course, that's the zero right there. Now, I'll talk about this in just a second, this blip down here, but you can see very clearly we sailed through this Fibonacci level and we came back to test the 0.382 Fibonacci level of that $1,330 level. So that is the next reasonable price target. I'm going to give it a 50-50 shot that if we break above this year, 2024, break above, and it remains as support, then I would say we would be on our way up to, and you would see major resistance here at that 1330 level. Again, 50-50 chance. And I'll give you the unrealistic, but just keep it in the back of your mind. It's this next level right here of $1,520. Again, that's the 50% mark, the halfway point between this high and this low, sitting right there at 1,520, 1,525 roughly. So those are my targets moving higher. We just really have to make sure that we break out of this long-term downtrend line and hold above it for a significant period of time. So once again, right here, 1120, 1330, and 1520. Realistic, 50-50, and probably not, but you never know. So those are my targets moving higher. Now let's talk about my targets moving lower. And I need to go back to this little blip right here. So you might notice that I have kept the old high here of 2300 and the old low of 750 as the low point. Why? Because what happened here? Well, this little wick down is where everything else was going down. Everything, stocks, everything was going down, because that was the March 2020 crash. And of course, you know what was going on around that time. So I personally, because this was a black swan event, I do not count that as a major low from a fundamental point of view. Okay, now an argument could be made that, well, why would you do it here? Because that was a black swan event, but this was a big global financial crisis that took a long time to play out. It's over a number of months. See, each candle right here is a month. So we topped out at 2,300, and that took 1, 2, 3, 4. It took a good amount of time, almost a whole year, to get down there. Whereas this little wick down, that's just 1 month, and probably within there, that's just probably 1 or 2 weeks. That's a very quick spike, so that's why I'm not counting it, and I'm still counting this as a low at 750. Why am I talking about that? Because it happens to be one of the low points, my low targets for 2024. But the first one we'll talk about is right here at 840 US dollars. It's actually not based on a Fibonacci level, but it's based on a key area of support that we actually came down to test, and it was actually the low for 2023. So I had been talking about this $840 level all throughout 2023. We had tested it at least once in late 2022, and we saw another move here. So for me personally, that's the first reasonable price target moving lower. So if we do see resistance here or continued resistance at this long-term downtrend line, then coming up to this support level, a very reasonable, I think more than a 50% chance that you could bottom out here. 1, 2, could it be a triple bottom, for example? Although that's why I have the next target down, and that's my 50-50 chance of hitting back down to this $750 level. For me, that's a huge line in the sand. Again, apart from this little wick down in the Black Swan of March of 2020, it's been the key support level since 2008. Okay, so big level right here. That is my 50-50 chance of bottoming out for 2024. So that's my second realistic price target moving lower. And let's just talk about the unrealistic just in case targets. Well, of course, I think you would see it probably around about here at that 565 level. For me, that would probably have to involve another Black Swan event of some kind. So I could probably say a range. If we got a Black Swan event, and obviously a Black Swan event is something that you cannot see coming, I would say anywhere actually down to that $400 level, to give you an example. So I'm going to say right here, somewhere between, again, Black Swan event, they happen once in a blue moon, and you don't know exactly where the prices are going to go, but I'm going to put it right about there. That's a big range. That's a 400 to 550, 565, roughly a $150 range right there. But I'm definitely not saying it's going there in 2024. That's just your Black Swan unrealistic event, much less than 50% chance, probably a 10 to 20% chance we would hit there in 2024. Something very big would have to happen in 2024 in order for us to get down to this level. And something really, really big would have to get us down to there. But I just do want to keep that in the back of your mind if you are looking at loading the boat in case something like that does occur. So those are your low targets for 2024, the 840 level and the 750 level. Okay, now time for a quick recap. If you've hit that time code to go straight away, you've missed everything else. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the video. Here are my price targets moving higher and price targets moving lower for 2024. The two realistic targets moving higher are right here at 1,120 US dollars. That's number one, more than a 50% chance that we would reach that level. We do just have to break out of this long-term downtrend line. So if we do that, quite likely we come to here in 2024. Next realistic target, giving it a 50-50 chance, so 50% chance that we reach the higher target of 1,330 to 1,340 US dollars. And the unrealistic, but just keep it in the back of your mind, is right here at 1,520 US dollars. And your targets moving lower, first realistic target, more than a 50% chance that if we do see this as resistance, it's $840, breaking through 840. The line in the sand for me is at that 750 US dollar level. That's the 50-50 chance of reaching there for 2024. And the Black Swan, oh my goodness, it's another global financial crisis or a March 2020 like Black Swan event is a range, and again, unrealistic, but a range of 560 to 400 US dollars. Definitely not saying it's going there. 10 to 20% chance that we go there. So that is your 2024 platinum price prediction. Of course, every single week you get a regular gold, silver, and platinum, sometimes a cryptocurrency as well, analysis every single Wednesday or every single week. So please make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and please head over to ainslieBullion.com.au if you're looking to buy investment grade bullion bars and coins. My name is Joe once again. Thank you for watching. Balance your wealth in an unbalanced world. Take care. We'll see you next time.